Hi, my name is Eliza Hittman. I am a filmmaker. I'm here to talk with you about my first feature, It Felt Like Love. I wanted to make something that was an exploration of youth and looked at a part of the city that was connected directly to my youth. So I would say that the impulse for the character was very much a reflection of my experiences growing up, but I wouldn't at all dare and call the narrative autobiographical. I was about 15 to 20 minutes from Brighton Beach as a kid, and I think one of the sort of magical things about growing up in the city is that when you grow up in Brooklyn, it's a beach town. So you know how to locate friends in the summer by what beach they're at. And when I think about New York on film, I think about a lot of films in the 70s that were very specific to neighborhoods. So like Saturday Night Fever, was specific to Bay Ridge. I was thinking about like The Lords of Flatbush, which was a film I watched as a kid that was about Flatbush. And, I was thinking about Dog Day Afternoon, which is about Windsor Terrace. And I was thinking about like how it's rare to find films that are really geographically specific and capture the essence of a place. I had just graduated from CalArts and I moved back to New York City. And it was at a time where there had been a surge of micro-budget films that were being produced in New York City. So it was an exciting moment, and I wanted to figure out how I could take that model of like mumblecore filmmaking, but sort of apply it to what I was interested in terms of filmmaking and sensibility and perspective and style. There were also photographic references, I would say. I was interested in like one particular portrait done by Renneke Dijkstra at Coney Island. It had this sort of intensity and intimacy of a young girl at a very transitional moment of adolescence. And that was a very generative photograph in thinking about the character and the film aesthetics. A girl standing on the beach wearing a one-piece black bathing suit, and there was something very like funereal about the color of the suit, and it worked against what we usually think about when we think about like summer films. It reminded me of me in a lot of ways. I didn't come of age with grace. I never had the confidence to go and buy a bikini at like 14. So there was something sort of sad and uncomfortable and intimate about this one photograph that really kind of opened up the character for me and opened up a way of kind of looking at and thinking about my own youth. I initially wrote a short film, and it was something that I could shoot in my parents' basement, and I wanted to just keep going after I had made a short film that had played at Sundance called Forever's Gonna Start Tonight. And that short film was exciting to me in a way, and it felt like a chapter in the character's life. And I just decided to sort of keep going and keep pushing the character. And in a way, a feature film, can be sort of broken down very simply into 8 chapters. When you cut a feature film, you traditionally cut in reels, and 8 reels. So films are written in sequences, and 8 sequences or 8 chapters. So that was really the approach that I took in writing the script. I was like, if I can just keep writing this character Summer in 8 chapters, like where would it go? We shot, I think, for 16 days or 18 days. The crew was a skeleton crew. It was me. The DP's name was Sean Porter. And he was very, very confident in his ability to shoot the film with no crew. So we had no ACs. And we had a volunteer gaffer named Dalmar Weaver Madsen, who's a friend, and she showed up for like the Sweet 16 and a party day. And we had a really lovely intern, camera intern named George Itzhak, who held the camera because we were moving around so quickly and we never had a tripod and we were shooting all very run and gun, that George was there just to kind of assist with the camera. But we only used one lens to shoot the entire film. We had a sound person, we had, an excellent producer, Srihari Sathe, and then a couple of friends who were coming and going. All filmmaking is crisis management. I was dabbling with street casting in that film, and it wasn't like a chic way of working, at that moment. There was no Jen Vendetti casting. Like, I was just trying to build a film and a world authentically, and I went to Manhattan Beach Park and I started talking to guys and hanging out, and like, maybe I can cast kids just from the city. And I went back to my high school at Edward R. Murrow in Brooklyn, and I met with the theater teachers and I auditioned kids who were like hungry to act. And I also had a casting director named Henry Russell Bergstein who helped, put out just in the agency world, but I didn't get many bites. So I've always cast a wide net when I've approached the casting of the film. There's no like hard and fast philosophy or rules. You just want to make the best movie, and that involves seeing the most people. But yeah, there were lots of like mini crises. Like I definitely brought people onto the set whose backgrounds were infinitely more complicated than I realized. It brought up some like ethical questions for sure, and how we work and what does it mean to bring real people off the street onto a film set. And I question some of those decisions now and the safety of those choices. Writing to enable yourself to make the film is how I started my career. Don't get in your way, and don't look to these studios to open doors. Like, it may not happen for you. So don't wait. Don't get in your own way. And everybody has access to a camera, and what's really important is your vision and your voice.